This is where the mental game comes into play. Jacobus Basson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. It looks like Janine Glad is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Warren Dodd crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outlap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Richard Reshka is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Joni Geldenhuys is on their outlap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Jonathan Visser is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. It's clear that Jamie Nichols is pushing Thiercar to the very edge of traction on this qualifying lap.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
Danny Van Ruyen will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Mark Guy is rising to the occasion.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Danny Van Ruyen is looking for ways to improve their consistency. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Jamie Nichols is nailing both.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Carol. Let's see if they can maintain this pace.
Richard Reshka is on their first flying lap. Richard Reshka has completed their outlap. Janine Glad is trying to find that extra performance.
Every driver needs something different, Carol. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
JP Brand is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
They'll need to put together a perfect lap, hitting every apex and pushing the car to the limit without going over it.
Mark Guy is up minus 0.24.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Mark Guy is just showing us all what they're made of.
Jacobus Basson is trying to find that extra performance. Tommy Glad is up minus 0.1. Danny Van Ruyen is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Jamie Nichols is trying to find that extra performance. Richard Reshka is looking for ways to improve their consistency. This is what it's all about. Peter Grobler is putting everything they've got into this qualifying session.
Absolutely. Peter Grobler is showing the world what they're made of.
A solid performance from Dylan Bizaji as they currently hold position 5. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Dylan Bizaji will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
A challenging session for Jonathan Visser so far. They're currently in 13th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. Janine Glad has some work to do as that 119.332 is only good enough for 6th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they're going to find it before the session is over.
Incredible drive by Richard Reshka so far, earning them 3rd. The competition is fierce, however, and they will need to quickly find more time to get even closer to the sharp end of the grid.
You're spot on, Carol. Richard Reshke's current position of 3rd is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Peter Grobler has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. This is a great spot. Peter Grobler has completed their first flying lap in 119.014. And there goes JP Brand, currently in position 8. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Spot-on analysis, Carol. JP Brand has positioned themselves well in 8th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
What a performance from Mark Guy. They currently occupy 6th on the grid. It's a good spot for now, but other drivers are trying their hardest to put in a better time and push them down the order.
I couldn't agree more, Carol. Mark Guy has done a fantastic job to claim 6th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Starting just behind the front runners in 3rd place is the determined driver, Richard Rushka. In the 2nd position, we have Jamie Nichols ready to tackle the race ahead.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Jamie Nichols can do from here.
And they're off, with drivers now facing the unpredictability of the opening lap. With so many cars close together, the risk of an early accident is real.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
With this motley bunch of drivers, there is bound to be drama. I just hope we don't miss it.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. It's a steady race for Danny Van Ruyen so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus. It may seem like Jamie Nichols is far behind, but Richard Rushka can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Jamie Nichols an opening to catch up.
You're spot on, and Jamie Nichols knows that they can't rely on Richard Reschke making an error. They have to keep driving with skill and determination, and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
Mark Guy is holding fifth, but Peter Grobler is right on their tail.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
The race is really heating up. Joni Geldenhuys is hunting down Peter Grobler with everything they've got.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Every move counts now as Jamie Nichols works to reel in Richard Reschke and overtake for P2.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Jamie Nichols needs.
Peter Grobler has completed their first flying lap in 1:19.014. Peter Grobler is on a mission, chasing Mark Guy, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Peter Grobler should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Mark Guy.
It's a close race between J.P. Brand and Warren Dodd in E. The gap between Tommy Glad and Jonathan Visser is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Tommy Glad to bring Jonathan Visser into play.
Absolutely, and on the other side of the equation, Jonathan Visser can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
The delta between Jonathan Visser in 13th and Tommy Glad remains over a second, but Jonathan Visser is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 3 minutes left in this session to make that happen. No room for error here. Dylan Visagi is breathing down the neck of Jamie Nichols, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
Dylan Visagi is so close to Jamie Nichols that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Joni Geldenhuys wants to find a way round Mark Guy.
Rubbing is racing, but let's just hope they don't rub it too hard.
We got a close battle as J.P. Brand closes in on Warren Dodd. Even though Janine Glad is a fair way behind Jacobus Basson, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jacobus Basson is still vulnerable to mistakes.
That's right, and Janine Glad knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let Jacobus Basson off the hook.
Things are going according to plan for Richard Reschke, who is currently second.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Oh, this is getting intense. Peter Grobler is just behind Jamie Nichols.
If things go wrong between Peter Grobler and Jamie Nichols, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Oh dear, J.P. Brand has dropped down to 9th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and J.P. Brand needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
It's a brilliant day for racing here at CABALEN _H22_bar_perimetral. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Joni Geldenhuys, who is currently in P7. But Mark Guy is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Joni Geldenhuys. A strong showing from Janine Glad, who is currently 10th.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
The adrenaline is pumping as JP Brand gets within striking distance of Warren Dodd in their race for 8th.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with JP Brand gaining places and Warren Dodd losing them.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Jamie Nichols will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
This is where experience comes into play. Dylan Visagi has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Jamie Nichols is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Mark Guy is closing in on Peter Grobler.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Mark Guy close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
The pressure is on for Warren Dodd as they try to catch up to JP Brand.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Warren Dodd is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with JP Brand.
The gap between Tommy Glad and Jonathan Visser is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Tommy Glad to even allow Jonathan Visser to get a look in. A solid performance from Tommy Glad, who is holding down 12th. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Jacobus Besson in 11th chases after Janine Glad. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Jacobus Besson needs to find a way to close the gap.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Jacobus Besson in 11th determined to catch up. But we know Janine Glad isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Jacobus Besson is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
The pursuit is on. Peter Grobler is closing the gap on Jamie Nichols, determined to claim P4.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Peter Grobler is really walking that fine line.
The action is non-stop as Jamie Nichols shadows Dylan Visagi through every twist and turn, determined to claim 3rd. Janine Glad is placed 10th at the moment.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Warren Dodd trying to outsmart and outmaneuver JP Brand. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But JP Brand is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Warren Dodd in P9 doing everything they can to catch up.
It's all about consistency for JP Brand, who is currently 8th.
Definitely Carroll, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
It looks like Joni Geldenhuys is pushing hard to catch up to Mark Guy. That's not a small gap, but Joni Geldenhuys has what it takes to challenge for the position. It's a thrilling pursuit as Jamie Nichols is right behind Dylan Visagi, keeping the pressure on for 3rd place.
It's always good to see Jamie Nichols improving.
It's a game of inches now as Jamie Nichols tails Dylan Visagi closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. It's looking good for Danny Van Ruyen, sitting in first.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Danny Van Ruyen has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
A strong showing from Richard Reshka, who is currently second. Things are heating up as Jamie Nichols tries to close the gap to Dylan Visagi. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Grobler trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jamie Nichols. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Absolutely, Peter Grobler in fifth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an awful damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
A solid performance from JP Brand, who is holding down 8th. On the final lap now, and Danny Van Ruyen looks like they might just wrap up this win.
You got this, keep your cool.
It's all over. Danny Van Ruyen has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Danny Van Ruyen. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
What a fantastic race from Richard Reshka, who brings it home in second place. What a race from Dylan Visagi, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish.
Great job bringing it home.
Jamie Nichols, Peter Grobler, Mark Guy, and Joni Geldenhuys brings home 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Followed by JP Brand, Warren Dodd, Janine Glad, and Jacobus Basson in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. With Tommy Glad and Jonathan Visser in 12th and 13th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at CABALEN _H22_VAR_perimetral, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Richard Reshka is second.
The Namibian driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Lining up in third is Dylan Visagi.
Big things expected for Dylan Visagi today.
Our fourth place starter for today's race is none other than Jamie Nichols.
It's not always easy to get the TC2000__Escort V_1997 this high up the starting grid.
And the green flag drops. The race is officially underway.
With adrenaline running high, some drivers may take unnecessary risks. Staying patient and knowing when to make a move is essential for a strong start.
The pressure is on when the field is this tightly packed. Maintaining just enough aggression to hold off their rivals without pushing too hard will help these drivers keep it clean. Warren Dodd will be studying the nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage.
The drivers will be jostling for the best position, Carol. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
Every lap is an opportunity for Mark Guy to learn just a little bit more to shave a few tenths or hundredths off their times. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is feeling out the drivers around them.
It's always intense racing here at CABALEN _H22_VAR_perimetral. Hold on to your hats, folks.
It's been a solid race so far for Dylan Visagi. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
That's the mark of a good driver. Dylan Visagi is staying focused on their own race and not getting distracted.
Anyone who says that Simspeed Motorsports is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Jamie Nichols in 8th and Janine Glad. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds. Janine Glad is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Looks like Mark Guy, it's all over. Danny Van Ruyen has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Danny Van Ruyen. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
Hold on to your hats, folks. JP Brand is right on the heels of Warren Dodd, and we're in for a wild ride. Superb driving from JP Brand, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Yes, JP Brand is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Carl, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Carol. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Mark Guy is chasing Peter Grobler in P4. seems like Jamie Nichols is getting in range of JP Brand. Great driving from Jamie Nichols, who has just gained a place and moved up to 7th.
Absolutely. Jamie Nichols is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Fantastic braking alert. Looks like that's a mistake from JP Brand. This could be costly. JP Brand is looking for an opportunity to get round Jonathan Visser.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
A tough moment for JP Brand, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 11th.
That's got to be frustrating. But JP Brand is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
The tension is building as Peter Grobler trails behind Mark Guy. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Mark Guy is pushing to maintain the lead, while Peter Grobler is working to close in and challenge for the position. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. A great moment for JP Brand, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. This is a thrilling battle as Peter Grobler edges closer to Mark Guy in their fight for P4. Things are going according to plan for Danny Van Ruyen, who is currently first.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
It's all about consistency for Richard Reshka, who is currently second. The race is heating up as Dylan Visagi in third closes in on Richard Reshka. Breaking news, folks. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Dylan Visagi, who is currently in P3. But Richard Reshka is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Dylan Visagi.
That's right. Dylan Visagi in third knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Richard Reshke is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
This is what it's all about, folks. Janine Glad is in hot pursuit of Jacobus Vasson, who's just trying to stay ahead.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. This is racing at its finest.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Joni Geldenhuys will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Johnny Geldenhuys in ninth determined to catch up. But we know JP Brand isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Johnny Geldenhuys is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Janine Glad is placed 7th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of JP Brand, who is 0.5 seconds behind.
That's very true, and JP Brand knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Janine Glad to make a mistake, if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
Look at that. JP Brand is hot on the tail of Janine Glad.
The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds.
Jonathan Visser has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Warren Dodd. I expect their only hope at this point is that Warren Dodd makes an error. Breaking news, folks. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
They say rubbing is racing, but if JP Brand gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
What a move. JP Brand has moved up to 6th. This is getting exciting. Joni Geldenhuys is looking for any gap that might open up the position. It's an intense battle for position as Joni Geldenhuys tries to outmaneuver Janine Glad. This is edge of your seat racing. Joni Geldenhuys is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace. The battle for 8 is heating up as Warren Dodd tries to catch Joni Geldenhuys in P8.
Warren Dodd is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
The intensity is off the charts as Joni Geldenhuys hounds Janine Glad, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Superb driving from Joni Geldenhuys, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Danny Van Ruyen is placed first at the moment. It's looking good for Richard Reshka, sitting in second.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Things don't seem to be going Dylan Bisagy's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. A strong showing from Peter Grobler, who is currently fourth. Well, it doesn't look like Jamie Nichols is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Peter Grobler.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
While JP Brand is not under immediate threat from Joni Geldenhuys, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Wow, Warren Dodd is really pushing hard to catch up to Joni Geldenhuys. There's blood in the water for 7th place. The delta between Janine Glad in 9th and Warren Dodd remains over a second, but Janine Glad is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 11 minutes left in this session to make that happen. Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. Heartbreak for Joni Geldenhuys, as they slip down the field.
Definitely, but Joni Geldenhuys is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Great driving from Joni Geldenhuys, who has just gained a place and moved up to 8th. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
The mental game is just as important here. Joni Geldenhuys must keep their cool while putting pressure on Warren Dodd.
As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Danny Van Ruyen is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon? And there it is. Danny Van Ruyen has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. Richard Reshka takes second place with a fantastic race.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second place finish.
What a race from Dylan Bisagy. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. Jamie Nichols, Peter Grobler, JP Brand, and Warren Dodd in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. In 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, it's Joni Geldenhuys, Janine Glad, Jacobus Basson, and Jonathan Visser. Taking 12th and 13th is Mark Guy.